Welcome back to De La Viega Disc Golf Course. This is the back 12 holes of the 2024 Santa Cruz Masters Cup amateur coverage presented by Top World Disc Golf. Starting it off with one of the most iconic holes at De La Viega in the short position, affectionately known as the kitchen or the refrigerator hole, because there is a very old fridge in the area that you need to clear in order to access this basket that is perched on this plateau.
At least this pin placement is a little more accessible than the traditional pin placement, it seems like.
And before we get to our lead card, we're going to check in with the guys on our chase card here for the final round. And those first two shots look pretty decent, but a little right than what you want. This is more the line you want. You got to push it towards that dead pine tree on the straight in front of you, and then let the overstable disc just work over to the right. That looks better. Maybe a little short though.
On to the lead card. Our leader by one stroke, Andres De La Viega. It's almost like he was meant to be leading.
Yeah, and Austin, similar line. They should both have a putt for birdie.
Oh, I did the same thing as yesterday.
Yeah, looks like
apparently Michael did the same thing as yesterday.
Yeah, I guess didn't throw it hard enough. You got to get it pretty flat and straight before the fade in order to place it on the top of the plateau, or else you might roll down here, which is where Austin ended up.
Yep, that's fine.
And Andres also going to card the birdie.
That should extend his lead to 2 now.
And pars for Michael and Austin Wesley. And on to hole 14 of the tournament, 550-foot par 3. A lot of people say this is probably more of a par 4, but it's California Ironman golf. You got to play those long par 3s, and I've seen a couple too, so it's doable. But in order to do it, you got to push a big drive and get it to skip through this low area here. We call it the mouth here, and then have a putt. See if anybody
and Keenan, I gotta be honest, I am one of those people who says this is a par 4. If you get a 2 on this, that is every bit of an eagle in my book. What's funny is I think that longer pin that we saw in the drone preview, which is not being played now, but it's like 50 feet longer, and they do call that a par 4. I'm pretty sure, if I saw the stats correctly.
Yeah, you're right.
But
that is the whole position that they've played in the previous rounds.
Yeah.
And here we have the chase card trying it first. And a couple not so great drives, but good drive there.
I mean, looking at the stats I've got open here, this hole averaged 4.31. So it averaged even as a pretty difficult par 4.
And Andres up first. Looks like he didn't get the flip up that he wanted out of that. It hyzered out, and that's not going to be an easy par.
Dude, punch in.
That looks good. Skip in there.
That's what you want. It gets right past the dead tree. That's a pretty good aiming point. Just aim at the dead tree and have it fade right in front of it. And that looks pretty similar.
Yeah, a couple of great flip-ups there. Perfect lines. Michael trying to follow suit. Another similar one. Look at that.
Yeah, those guys are
3
going to
good
be
shots.
grouped pretty closely together. But
Talking about.
it's going to be Andres up first with a tough position.
Looks like he's lining up a bit of a flex forehand line. Oh, that's a higher gap than the one I was looking at. I wonder if that was on purpose or a misrelease.
Yeah, he actually probably laced that about as good as you can. He's going to have a look to get a 3 at least.
Oh, cool.
And that was just pretty much exactly what you want out of Austin. He gave himself that left window at the sidearm, and he's pitched up under the basket. That's going to be a tap-in 3.
And here we see birdie putts after good drives. This is what you get. Birdie putt, skip shot, 200 feet.
Yeah, it looks like
Andres, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to get the bogey 4 even after that.
I'm going to call it a pargy.
Ooh.
No.
Tim missing his circle 1 putt. He's going to want that one back.
Andres saving the bogey at least, or pargy as I'm going to call it. Another pargy right there. Is it all bogeys, or do we have one par tap in here? I kind of lost track.
Yeah, that's still Austin's red disc right there under the basket. So
that's right.
Going to be last to putt.
I mean, that's basically a birdie. Well played, Austin. Good par. Good party. Like I said, this hole averaged 4.31. There were only 6 pars on the day. So great par there.
Yeah, and on to hole 15, 278-foot par 3. Drone's currently flying the low gap, which is a good line, but if you're off just a little bit, you could hit those oak trees and kick into a not great spot. A lot of people like to take that out of play and go up over the top, maybe a backhand hyzer or a sidearm kind of turnover flex shot in order to access where this pin is placed. And up first, Austin trying that up the gut.
Trying the even narrower window too. Probably accidental, but it worked out. Oh, high Annie sidearm. I like this. If that flattens out, it could be great. I didn't quite see the end of it.
Yeah, and the shot from Tim, he goes for the up-over backhand hyzer, but he puts it up so high that the wind carries it into the rough, and he won't know right away, but we could not locate that disc. We called it lost, and then he's going to have to re-tee after that. I missed that shot, so he re-tees, which was a great shot. It kicks out into barely circle 2, so he's going to have a look to save bogey.
Wow. Lost disc penalties are the worst, man. It's like adding insult to injury. You're already going to be missing a disc for the rest of the round, and then you got to take a penalty too, and it's basically like a double penalty with the re-tee.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
And then he misses the bogey save opportunity, so it's going to be a 5, and you're hopefully not missing your favorite distance driver that you lost. So if anybody found Tim Hamersly's sword, is the name of the mold. If you found his sword, please turn it into the De La Vega Lost and Found.
Man, lost disc penalties seem like they should be less common at tournaments with, spectators and spotters and plenty of other players and media, like more eyes to look for the disc. It's so rare to see a lost disc during tournament play, but it's sad when it happens.
Yeah, and it can really shake your mental, so we'll see how Tim bounces back from that. And heading on to hole 16, 287 feet. This is a very difficult hole for shorter arms because you really have to get it up over all these oak trees. in order to get to the basket. This is also one you could easily fade out left and lose your disc. But Michael opts for the backhand, gets a little bit too much turn, but he should be able to get up and down for par.
It's also a hole where I would imagine you could easily get 2-meter penalties.
Yes, since we are Northern California at De La Viega, we do play the 2-meter rule is in effect, so that is definitely something to think about.
Oh, a little bit of a grip lock there.
Yeah, seems maybe.
Did I foreshadow? Is that a 2-meter, or did he fall out of the tree?
He did fall out of the tree, but it seems like he is a little rattled after that lost disc. We'll see if he can get up and down for par.
Oh, no. The disc golf gods can be cruel sometimes. When it rains, it pours.
Yeah, this course can have some teeth for sure. They don't call it getting daylawed for nothing.
Oh, wow. Wind took it away from me.
Good bid.
Here's Michael for
Here's
birdie.
MB. Yeah, low ceiling.
Yeah, tough putt.
Hey, good putt.
Yeah, good save from Tim after going long on that upshot. Limit the damage, stop the bleeding.
Austin with the par. Don't hit your head. Usually when people say that, they're referring to a park job under the basket, but this time it was actually something he could have hit his head on.
Yeah, it's not too many courses where you'll have a tree in the circle like that.
Another reason why I love this course, Keenan.
And
It's fun to watch. Oh, sorry. Go ahead with your whole preview.
And on to hole 17, 449-foot par 3. Currently in the left position. You got to get over this dead tree log in order to have a putt. We'll see what these guys do.
Yeah, I was just saying on the putts there, I enjoy watching players have to, putt from awkward stances that aren't the most comfortable stance every time. There's so much more to the sport of disc golf. Wow, great drive there. Than, open courses with OB where every putt is the perfect stance. I like seeing those straddles and those knee putts and low ceiling putts, and it makes players think,
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely unique to De La. And next up, Andres, trying to crush it. Doesn't get the flex that he wants, though.
450 is no joke. I mean, for an AM1 weekend, I got to wonder, how many people in the field even have the arm to reach this. On the Pro Tour, everyone can reach this, but we're looking at AM1 players here, and some of them have power, so I'm sure some of them can get there, but it's a lot to ask, 450 for AM1 players. And no shade, by the way. I myself am an AM1 player.
And I don't know if you noticed that, but Tim, actually, his drive hit the feather banner, the Top World feather banner. He said, "Sorry, Top World."
Oh, no.
Probably if it would have missed that feather banner, it would have hit the tree right behind it. So,
sure.
And a
wow,
great birdie.
Great birdie from Michael. Very impressive. Great drive, great putt.
Yeah, that's a good one to get, a bonus bird for sure.
As a matter of fact, Michael Bueno was the only birdie of the day on this hole that averaged 3.45. Very impressive.
Couple cleanups here. Everybody else is gonna par and move on to the next one. Tournament hole 18. Very iconic. This hole is referred to as Gravity. 225 feet. Very downhill. They call it Gravity because that area down to the right will pull your disc in and it just feels like gravity is pulling you down there no matter what you throw. But the play is just throw maybe a putter with some stability and let it go around that V tree either to the right or left in order to give you that birdie putt you're looking for.
From all the coverage at De La I've watched over the years, it almost seems like aiming to the left of that V tree is the more consistent play, because you're going to get that anti-skip every time with the slope of the hill, whereas a hyzer around the right of the tree might look great the whole time it's in the air, but it has a higher likelihood of hitting, you know, some of those pavers or whatever's holding up the basket there, or part of the basket itself, or a root. Ooh, good ace run. And then rolling down the hill, you know, but playing to the left of the tree for the anti-skip seems to stick more consistently by the basket.
Yeah, absolutely. Those two drives just demonstrated it right there.
Yeah.
Tim's is for the easy birdie, but Andres, you know, if you go around the right side, you're going to give it the ace run. Yeah, I think we would have had or 2 pars, 2 birdies, so yeah, it's still pretty tight with these scores between Michael and Austin and Andres.
Very exciting.
And on to hole 19, 267 feet. This one is in the short left position. The preferred play is probably a backhand mid-range or a fairway driver, and you got to avoid these dead trees that are guarding the basket.
That looks great.
That looks good.
Yeah, that's pretty ideal. Almost a carbon copy of Andres' shot.
Michael going a bit higher, still looks great.
Yeah, a little higher, a little more left, so it's going to give him a putt.
My buddy goes forehand here. Oh god, insane.
4 good drives. Let's see where they ended up. Oh yeah, if this is out, everybody's pretty close. Oh, slightly left side.
Michael with a great putt, maybe just barely in circle 2, just buries it.
Andres tapping out real quick, and that birdie from Michael puts him now in a tie for the lead with Andres.
Yeah, good time for your game to pick up with only 5 holes left to play.
Wow, look at that drive. No putting needed for Austin. Two guys at 6 down, 1 guy at 5. 4 holes to go. Pretty exciting, or 5 holes to go, I should say.
Yeah, on to hole 20, 242 feet in the short position. Pretty self-explanatory. You just want to keep it straight. You could go backhand or a sidearm over that fallen tree, but you just don't want to have it finish right down this cliffside because that could be Bogeyville. And Michael here is actually throwing one of the discs that he got out of the players pack for this event. It was a DGA Glow Breaker.
That's cool. I would hope that he was familiar with the mold already. That would be quite a risk to take, throwing an unfamiliar disc when you're tied for the lead coming down the stretch of a tournament.
Yeah, you must have some type of confidence in that mold.
A masterclass.
Yeah, no super great drives from our lead group here, so we'll see what they can do with what they got here. Oh.
Oh.
Almost hit the walk on the basket and rolled away, but it's close.
Oh. Something went wrong with that release.
Yeah, it seems like the wind's starting to blow a little bit.
Oh, no. He's still got some meat left on the bone there.
And here's where Andres' drive ended up.
Michael's. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Great birdie.
Great birdie from Michael.
Putting the pressure on. This is Andres for bogey. Ooh, saves the bogey. Man, still 2-stroke swing between him and Michael. I got Michael at 7 down, and Andres and Austin tied at 5. Tim tapping in the par, and Austin doing the same.
Next up, hole 21, 250 feet, par 3. You got the OB road on the right that can easily come to into play if you hit this wooden this kind of play box, sandbox here that protects the basket. And you also have that big bushy oak tree that can definitely get you 2-metered if you get stuck in it.
Yeah, this is another pin that you don't see too often. There's the really hard one way up at the top of the hill on the left, and then there's the one kind of at the base of the steep part of the hill, but still on the left. This is a very different shot. Oh, he got 2-metered.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Those oak trees are like Velcro. If you land on the top of it, it'd be tough to drop out of it.
They're like Velcro. They'll just suck your disc in there.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out Terry Miller.
He knows what I'm talking about.
And Andres throws his
Oh, no, this is headed for the road.
Yeah, he just didn't get over on that, and that was a bad mistake. He's still going to have a look for a par putt, but not what you want to do down the stretch.
I kind of wonder if that 3-putt on the prior hole is still, in his head there on the tee shot of this hole.
Let's see if he can save the par.
Wow, that's some tall grass right there.
Yeah,
almost saves the par.
Yeah, it's going to be a bogey, and he's going to lose a stroke to Michael because he's under the basket for par. Or apologies, actually. This is where his second shot ended up, and a little foreshadowing. Might as well have been a tap-in. Easy money.
Hey, he's been
Michael.
putting great.
Yeah, he putts muy bueno.
But there's that bogey from Andres. And a bogey from Austin as well. Michael's lead is a little bit more comfortable, but at De La, it's never over till it's over.
Yep, 3 holes to play. On to 22. In this short position, the drone is currently flying the backhand route. You got to throw the hyzer up through these trees and hit up here on the plateau. You don't want to hit the hillside, or else you could easily roll a couple hundred feet down the hill. Oh, a little bit of roll
Like so.
away.
The thumbs up for it did not roll away. Good job, spotter.
Yeah, well, we actually had some deaf spotters on the course this weekend, and love to have those type of volunteers out here. And we know that they love disc golf with their Deaf Disc Golfers Club, so we always appreciate them out here for sure.
Cool. Yeah, thanks to anyone who volunteered for any position here at this event or any other. Volunteers keep disc golf alive.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of work to maintain this wilderness park and keep these holes playable, but it's all done by volunteers, so definitely shouts out to them.
I was kind of surprised to see Michael run that, given his 3-stroke lead with 3 to play. You'd think he'd want. Wow, great putt, Tim.
Yeah,
That was impressive.
That was so floaty.
So floaty, he said it.
Yeah, since these next couple holes are on this ridge here, you always have the wind kind of blowing up over the ridge. So no doubt he had a little bit of headwind at the top of that just kind of held it up and had it kind of float in there.
Yeah, I mean, going back to what I was saying about Michael, I was surprised to see him run that long birdie look and not lay up, given that he's going to have kind of a death putt comebacker at this point. Although I'm not sure how far past it he went. I see a disc there, so I guess he didn't go too far. It looked like he may have blown by farther, but I stand corrected.
Yeah, well, there is a lot of danger that could happen running that putt. You know, had it been a little lower and hit the cage or the pole, that could easily roll away, and especially with that breeze that's blowing back there.
Yep. Ends up not mattering. He saves the par and maintains that 3-stroke lead going into the last 2 holes. Oh, and by the way, Tim was one of only 2 birdies on the day on that hole. The other one was Weston Hatch.
Nice. And headed on to the second to last hole, hole 23 for the tournament. 354 feet, dead straight. You got the drop off on left and right, so you got to just keep it straight with a backhand. And first, we're going to check in with the chase card, see how their drives are.
Bush. I think that's gifted to Bush.
And that breeze coming off of the hill just really turned that over. But at least our lead group's going to have a couple wind reads before they tee off. Rough little kick off of that branch. Hopefully Tim can save par from down there.
A little bit right for Michael, but he stays up top. At this point, really, he just needs to play for par and not make any big mistakes.
Yeah, and Andres, the opposite. He's kind of got to earn some strokes. He's probably thinking birdie on this one.
Yeah, him and Austin both. I mean, their only hope really is to birdie out and hope that Michael makes a mistake.
This looks pretty good. Keep turning.
Drop.
Yeah, fade it out.
Perfect.
Yeah, par secured for Michael.
Wow, great throw there. Almost threw it in.
Yeah, that would have been a good birdie. And Austin from down there is kind of similar position. Andres needs this.
Nope. Man, poor guy. He was playing great till like the last 5 or 6 holes. Nerves probably got to him a little bit.
Yeah,
Austin saves the par, but he needed a birdie.
yeah, unfortunate to 3-putt and end up with the bogey. Especially after how he's been putting pretty great all round, or all weekend rather. Good par save from Michael though, showing off why he's still in first place. Got to scramble out here sometimes.
Here it is. Classic top of the world.
Oh yeah, one of the most iconic holes in all of disc golf in my opinion. 516 feet. This is the medium position. It's not the shortest, not the longest. You see it there. Got my friends playing it during a sunset round. You know, 516 feet, but it's so far downhill that it obviously plays a lot shorter. pretty much pick your poison. Could be a sidearm, could be a backhand, just whatever you can throw to get it down there.
Tim going backhand hyzer, wide out to the right.
Yeah, that should be in bounds. He didn't yell parking lot or 4 at the shack, so that's good.
I mean, basically, if Michael can put this in bounds, it's over. And that looks great.
Yep, in bounds. It's actually parked. The crowd down below likes it.
Nice.
You didn't give me a green flag. I think that means good.
And Austin to cap off a pretty amazing performance for his, first sanctioned tournament.
And even though Andres and Austin are out of it for the win, I mean, they're still battling each other at this point. I'm not sure if it's for second or something else, depending on what the chase card is doing, but every stroke counts.
Yeah, it looks like Austin's locked in the par.
Oh, Andres needed that to tie him. Or maybe that was his par also, I forgot.
And Tim for birdie. And then what a drive to finish your tournament.
Wow, didn't need it, got it anyway.
Yeah, I bet that feels good to end on with a birdie on top of the world to secure your title as the amateur champion of the Santa Cruz Masters Cup.
That's crazy, man. The three of them were so tight for like the whole round until the last 4 or 5 holes, and he just pulled way ahead.
Yeah, he really turned it on when it mattered and kind of gained some momentum when he got that big birdie on hole 17. So good momentum shift for Michael to secure the win. And tournament director Jimmy Phillips presenting the trophy to Michael Bueno as the amateur champion for the 2024 Santa Cruz Masters Cup presented by DGA.
That was a fun watch, Keenan. Thanks for having me. Be sure to subscribe to Top World Disc Golf for more disc golf content.
And there's our top 3. Michael Bueno getting first place, Austin Wesley in second place, and Andres De Loa in third, followed by some local guys. And that'll do it for our coverage. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next time.